Let's start with a run. I shouldn't overthink it too much. Like, if I can do a 109 hard any percent, I can definitely get a sub Marcello run at least. Sub 101 as well, if I just am more confident with my execution. All about practice, I guess. If I can macro move players a little bit. No, like seriously, what the hell is wrong with like the internet right now? I mean, it used to be worse, I guess. It's just annoying now what I expect a standard guy don't drop frames. Okay, none of that, I have to practice it. Not in the mood for it right now. Decent Malus. Like, what will actually be interesting with that heartrate motor though is how it like works out during skips. Like, especially something like Avion, Wing Drop, Gaius Launch, Bassaran, Pelagia hard 10%, oof. And obviously Malus on a good pace. If I know myself well enough to know it will spike during certain moments, so that'll be interesting to watch. It's definitely a very nice addition. Should be fine. can go, yeah. Not quite the full-on crazy quad, but good enough. How is it rising after I'm killing the Colossi? Is it more like of a relief exhale or something? That's interesting.
Abro. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Time for a real heart attack check. I mean, Avian is always the prime example for heart attack moments, but guys can get there, I guess. I've been more confident with guys recently, but doesn't mean I'm 100% consistent at it. Actually, what improved like my run to most was finally like at least in heart any percent getting consistent at Gaius and Avion, and making a more conservative like Barbave do hand first, but not like the full-on launch because that can mess up the second part sometimes if one lands badly. So after that I had a lot more attempts at like Hydras, and that actually made my consistency very good. Hey Sancho. And from there on I knew it was only a matter of time, because Sean's late game wasn't actually that great. He lost like a minute on Argus and another minute on Zenobia almost, compared to like a very good execution. Oh, Fox, you're already going. That's so sad. Okay, let's see. I know back when I was like still inconsistent with the strategy, my heart rate would actually go up. That jump was fine. I'm not really worried. I guess during the race my heart rate would be higher in general. Okay, gotta focus. Okay, I didn't check it. It did go up. I guess slightly at least. Oh god, no. The plant is actually worse, honestly. The fact that it's just a little is actually a good sign for my practice. I know it used to be way worse. And actually saved it. That's good. I guess there is a little delay as well, but can't really be avoided with something like that. It goes through like a phone app and then through the internet. Or maybe it got way up because I missed the plant, which is honestly a more horrifying thing. But overall, decent guys. Lost a little time on the transition, but other than that, it was pretty good. Okay, why did it just go up? I think it's the heavy exhales, for some reason. Because whenever I'm like in strat mode, I tend to like tense up a little. Well, it's not that they have more difficult animations, it's first of all Wander's stamina depletes faster. And second of all, you get forced into positions that make it more awkward to navigate. Like, that's actually the thing about HTA that nobody seems to believe until they actually try it. Like, Sean was very skeptical, but after he practiced hard mode, he got a lot better at the game, like to the god mode level he's now. So basically, since it forces you into positions and more uncomfortable situations, it actually makes you better at the game, because it forces you to think on the spot. Since even though now, after I did all the work in it, I planned out most of like the animations and transitions way more clearly than it used to be. But especially when you start out, it's just a completely different experience. Like, I know that people that are new to a game and get decent at NTA always are terrible at HTA just because of like this difference in level of comfortableness, I guess. NTA has many strats that are more precise, but HTA has a lot more unforgiving ones, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, hard Pelagia, like I swear my heart rate at hard Pelagia is always at 120 or something. We'll see if I run more hard mode, but the problem with hard mode Pelagia is not only is it crazy precise in the first steps, that you have to get the 4 stabs in very quickly, but also it can still mess up even if you do everything perfectly on the cutscene. Since during the cutscene you don't have control of Wander, so sometimes if Pelagia turns in a weird way, Wander can fall off without you having any input over that. Oopsie. Should have watched the Foxy tutorial on that one, then it would have been shameless. Silly me. But I guess being forceful here is actually a bad thing. Ah, you piece of something. Ah, that's fine, I guess. My favorites are not really ever good. Good one. Crazy accurate as well. I should adopt that. But yeah, again, big shout out to Sean. since like he set up the bounty for the first ever sub 110 on hard any percent, that actually like gave me an easier way of getting that heart rate monitor. Sean basically financed most of it in a way, because I felt it was just right to get like something for the stream from like the bounty I earned through playing the game, instead of just spending it on myself or whatever. But I mean, it's a very nice feature. Definitely adds something. I guess excitement in some ways, when people see him like freak the hell out during like the skips or during Malus, because Malus will always freak me out. No matter how much I practice the game, I will never get the level of chill Sean has at the game. I'm way more hectic in that way. Sometimes it feels like Sean's like heart rate is at a constant like 60. It never changes no matter what happens. I know it's not true, but that's what it feels like. He has like that very nice ability of just staying relaxed because he practiced the game so much. Like, I remember during his first ever sub, what was it, 16 or 15? One of those two, where he got a world record and broke a barrier, basically. I didn't even realize he was like on crazy world record pace just because he didn't even like, you know, he was just the same amount of chores he would be when starting a run on Malus. That's what practice does, I guess. Because it would have been really interesting, like, to see my heart rate when I just started learning the game. I still am sometimes very salty about the game and can get very depressed and stuff, but it used to be way worse. Especially like when I was trying to beat Sean for a sub 16. If I was just more chill, I could have done it, I think. But yeah, I just overdid it a little. Okay, now this will actually be the moment of crazy heart rates. Hey, Max Vicious. Yeah, for sure. And the thing about that is, though, I think in Shadow, well, I guess in Eco you have the most control still, but in Shadow still you have way more control than like in The Last Guardian. Oh, I will do that one as well right after the big race or whatever. Or like the TLG races. It's good that it will force me to like play through the games. Hey, far. Oh no, I hate when that happens. Please be down. Oh, you. Oh, God. Now this will actually mess up everything. I wonder if I can still do wing drop. I probably can, but it will be a weird setup. No way I can. Okay. That was fine, I guess. Could have been worse. Not the greatest avion, but at least I'm past it. Yeah, with Shadow it's like the more confident you are at the skips, the less crazy or like hectic you get. Oh yeah, that one is pretty bad, not gonna lie. Yeah, I lost some time because of like Wander not getting up the wing. I used to lose a lot of runs when I Wander would shake. I think I even fell in the big race due to that. Because if you try to get up forcefully, Wander just falls. So I learned to just get back down and wait for the wing to drop down a little. Like, actually Sean helped a lot with that, like, just getting the understanding of how, like, you can get consistent at the game and how it's mostly about, like, psychological aspects. Well, you can reach the wing, but only if you don't stumble. You can easily walk over, but since I stumbled, it would have been too late. Hi, I think it's good. I always tend to forget that I actually have a decent amount of German viewers. It's just that most of them tend to get to the stream at very different times. And like, I guess I still default to English a lot. Like Mars9 actually, like, always talks to me in German whenever I enter his stream. So I guess with him it defaults a lot to German as well. I also used to have like one of the Russian viewers. Thanks, that was actually great, and the reason why I have a heart rate monitor now, since Sean had like the bounty for the first sub 110. It wasn't the cleanest run, but I'm very happy with it nevertheless, because hard mode is just so difficult to stay consistent on. Like, once Sean gets back to it, I'm sure he will get a sub 109 or even sub 108. But it's definitely one of those categories where it's more difficult to beat just because of the way it works, I guess. Sean is still way better than me at like the boss rushes, but I think with any percents I have more of a decent chance at competing. That's actually also one of the reasons why I'm like going for any percent normal now, because if we submit to ESA, I wanna have like better placement in this category, just so there's a higher chance of getting accepted. And that would like mean I'd have to beat Marcelo at the very least. Yeah, Sean and I will be actually submitting for ESA. We will submit a race. Depending on the way Corona works out, if that all works out, they allow you to cancel very like easily. Obviously due to all of that. But yeah, if it works out Corona-wise and submission-wise, we will be doing a race on ESA. In Sweden. Because Sean is still the best player. Oh, are you serious? That's the worst. That's the actual worst, because I don't know why Wander just sometimes doesn't grab there. I'm still probably the worst top player at this skip. I miss it the most, for sure. Everyone else figured it out, but I've tried everything. Oh yeah, for sure. Believe me, once I get on an actual good pace on Malus, it will be the greatest thing ever. Because You know, I've gotten a lot calmer with this game, but Malus gets me every time. That's why I'm probably also the worst at Malus of all people. It always works in practice, but I can't really handle the pressure too much. That's actually like the Colossus I have to save time on, but that one is garbage. Not sure what exactly you mean by that, Max Vicious. Actually, one very interesting thing would definitely be to chart like the heart rate over the run, just to see if during the skips it actually rises, because it seems to be like, you know, higher during the fights than during the wait, which makes a lot of sense, I guess. Oh, Hydrus is another bullshit one, that's for sure. Waggy still makes me nervous sometimes. Not sure if for the right reasons. Mostly for the right reasons, to be fair. I shouldn't. Never mind. No, I really don't get annoyed by Waggy. Sometimes I'm just scared. But it's always the most fun as well. Oh, see, my heart rate rose when I was talking about Wacky. That's awesome. Hey. It's almost a challenge for Wacky at times. The funniest thing, like her quirkiness and stuff, when I was actually like, oh, we don't need a blood pressure monitor, but trust me, I actually have a tendency to have very high blood pressure. I used to take medicine against that, and in a couple of weeks I will actually go to a doctor just to get that tested out, because I tend to have very bad headaches and nosebleeds and stuff, and that's probably not a good sign, and since nothing really helped to stop that, I might wanna like get it researched further. Hydrus is a bad one. I've gotten better at Hydrus. I also watched Foxy's guide, so I'm now an expert at Hydrus, technically, but it always just freaks me out. Also, Foxy's still here, I always forget. The first arm animation is wind up, and then you go like count, and then 10. Because with my like counting it would be 11 in that case. And they always used to go for like 9.5-ish. So like, I'm never sure if I'm like going too little or going too much. See, just talking about Hydrus and thinking about this strat makes me nervous as hell. Like seriously, this thing gets in my head because the red heart rate is literally how Hydrus makes me feel. Whenever I'm just thinking about this strat. Okay, I'm all good. Oh no. Okay. For a second it looked like Aggro was in the positioning where it would have messed things up. Oh, like I've actually had classes in like university about meditation and stuff because I guess teacher is less susceptible to that. And I guess that's why I'm not a teacher anymore as well, to be fair. No. Not strictly because of the kids though, to be fair as well. More like the whole kind of working routine a teacher has, which I personally wouldn't be able to go through on a daily basis for the rest of my life. But it was good! Holy shit, I got past Hydrus on like one of my very first runs. If not the first run. Like, as soon as a run gets by Hydrus, I at least get to finish one. And I know I have the biggest time saves near the end of the run. Besides Barba, which I just didn't do well on. Oh well. I still can definitely beat Marcelo's run from here on out. And probably more if I just focus very badly. Still losing a bit of time because I missed one of the jump stabs, I guess. Let me disconnect this one. Okay. In theory, if it corresponds to the Colossus difficulty, Kuro should not make the heart rate go up. In fact, it should make it go down because it's the chill section. Bassaran will be a lot trickier again. But yeah, also Sancho, do you actually plan on streaming like on the weekend at all? I was asking Sancho if he plans to stream on the weekend. That's kind of cute. Yeah, okay. During the like night time is fine. I just wanted to make sure because I wanna kind of wake up early and catch one of his streams again. Right now it's usually like I see it pop up during just before I have to go to work most of the time. But your streams were always very enjoyable. So. Oh yeah, for sure. I'll actually, very soon I will actually start doing proper TOG practice. So that will be painful as well. You'll see Trico make my heart rate go up out of rage. That will be fun. Excuse me, Trico. Kuro, Trico. Same thing. Okay, quick jump step from here, surely I could. Let me try that. Yeah, barely. I might have still lost a bit of time due to the routing. Like, getting to Kuro was pretty poor. But other than that, this run is going pretty smoothly. Soon the thoughts of doubt and fear will overwhelm me. Bassern is one of them, but honestly I've been even worse at Dirge recently, just because I've done a lot of hard mode and Dirge there is a lot easier than on normal. But seriously though, if I get past Dirge and then Pelagia doesn't troll me, this might actually be a very good run. It's not the best run ever, but honestly I don't need the best run ever to PB. I just need a solid one that doesn't die on Malus. Or actually I'm not even sure if I died on Malus, but I think I lost some time on the last few Colossi in general, so like Phalanx to Argus in general should be improvable, because I'm never good at Phalanx. For some reason I just am very unsure of the usual strat, since I'm so used to the Yell strat in boss rushes. Okay. Let's get ready for this bullshit. Oh god, that position might be sketchy. Might be okay as well. Oh no, yeah, no, yeah, no. Okay, I can save this. Maybe. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure if this is... Okay. It's faster than a reset, I guess. Yeah, that wasn't the best thing ever, that's for sure. That was weird, because the problem there... it was like... Usually I don't have this problem. But just now, I couldn't decide which strat to do, and they reacted too slowly on the usual thing I do. So this will lose time, but not as much as it could have lost. The rest of the execution was fine. Like, if you land like that on the lag, you can actually do this, but it's always very unlikely to actually work. Oh, I'm barely losing time at all, so my bass run was actually garbage. I was not sure what my heart rate did during that, but I'm sure it went up a little bit. Just a little tad. Bass run gets a lot more hate than he deserves, really. It's actually a decent fight in my opinion, casually and speedrun wise. The problem about the speedrun strategy, especially any percent, that it's so overly precise that it just can cost your run a lot. I'm decent at it, but just now, for example, I landed more to the left than usual and wasn't comfortable with overall timing there. Though I could have went for like the old school timing where you just charge the jump halfway. And I could have even gotten like a 40-second bass run equivalent. But yeah, NTA just has like the craziest strats back to back. Like Dirge is another crazy precise one. When you get a slight-ish break that can still go very wrong on Silosi, and then Pelagia right next after that. But honestly, being so far into the run and not being behind further is very good, because it means I get a chance to PB. Like best possible time 126, that would probably still be world record, at least sub 1. Now let's see, Dirge, I actually had pretty bad luck with that one. I think during my last NTA boss rush practice and during the big race I missed in one cycle. I gotta practice this one a lot more. I'm not comfortable with that one. Even though it's not as difficult as some would think. That's probably the most precise stab. Because I feel like the Pelagia one is easier to time. For me personally, at least recently. But actually, speaking of which, like, the worst Colossus to defeat casually. For me personally, I think it was Malus, just because I didn't understand the mechanic with like stabbing the hand casually. And in speedruns I tend to choke on it a lot. And besides Malus, I actually casually had trouble with Kuro because I didn't understand fall damage as much as I should have. Okay, it should be fine, if not, whatever. Oh yeah, that one stab. That did something to my heart, that's for sure. Okay, it's all good. Was that the biggest spike? Because you could probably not tell, but that one takes a lot of focus. Because it's so precise, you have to focus a lot, and it's kind of stressful because it can basically kill the run, lose a minute. Okay, this run is going way too well. Oh yeah, for sure, or like some tight skip, it means a lot. I think with Dirt it's the most condensed one in one moment, in 1 millisecond, that can make the run go well or kill it entirely. Oh, Pelagia is technically worse. I think Pelagia is also objectively worse, but for me personally, I might have an easier way of doing it. Because with slow stab, you have more time to react to it if you do the slow stab on Pelagia. But that one only works if you do like the first skip the right way. It can also fail quite a lot if Pelagia isn't cooperating. I think the most stressful section in any speedrun of this game in general is probably HD Pelagia still. If you want to do a good 2-cycle. Like even during my current hard any % world record, Pelagia lost me a minute by looking away. Because that's a thing on the stack and gazebo that happens. The Pelagia is just like looking away and turns around slowly, losing you a minute. But Sean didn't have the best Pelagia either, so it was fine. In his past PP before that, I think it was like a 112 or 111, I'm not sure. There his Pelagia was actually perfect. In comparison. It can always be a little tricky, but I think I finally figured out a way to do it, at least semi-consistently. Also I'm going for the right one, because even though that one is slightly slower, it tends to give better slow sear positioning on the final part, which is why I at least prefer it for any %. Because there's not as much like debris in the way. That's what we call it. That was good. Now I recently messed up this jump stab a lot. It's actually absolutely terrible. Okay, that's fine. Perfect. I think that was the cleanest Celosia I've ever had in any %. The casual version of this theme is absolutely amazing. Okay, I seem to have a very clean solution in my PB as well. Yeah, walking off the cliff gives you an easier positioning for the jump stab. Little known fact. But recently, even with that lineup, I've been missing it a lot. Because if you keep holding the button forward a little too long, you miss it. Okay, Pelagia. The worst fear of any speedrunner. Killer of runs, destroyer of dreams. And a major asshole. But I guess the NTA version isn't as bad as the HTA one. Also, maybe I just now, but I'm realizing how clean my run was actually in the first part. I know I have like some time save on Barba, but other than that, there's not really much I did wrong in my past PB besides the last few Colossi. This is the farthest I've gotten in an any percent normal run as of recently. That's for sure. I think this is now slowly but steadily becoming a part of the run. Where things can go wrong a lot, and there are a lot of excuse me aggro. What the hell was that? Oh god. Sometimes aggro can even glitch through the floor doing things like that. But that's actually a time loss now. A major one at that. Like aggro movement on through the forests, especially on the way to Pelagia, has to be quite precise. Aggro poop trophy that would ruin the plat run, because as of right now the plat run is actually fairly consistent for a top runner. It can vary a lot in time, but it's consistent. Have a good nap. So I practiced Pelagia a little bit recently, and I was never able to get Sean's like IL setup in any percent. So I'll just cut my losses and try for a regular one, which is a bit slower, but should work just as fine. Can't hide the stress now. This actually could have worked maybe, but I want to take it slowly here. sure about that setup. Well, I'll have to go for it, I guess. But this can go very wrong. But I don't have much choice. Okay, that went right. I actually didn't expect that. Oh god, now I'm charging that one. Okay, that one was good. Whoa. I didn't want to charge that one, but I think I saved it. Whew. Well, now here come the actual Colossi with the time saves. I'm not nervous. Are you nervous? No, I'm not nervous. Oh, shit. Okay, I actually don't remember. I think I might have missed the jump 2 phalanx in my PB. And I think the Zenobia and Argus weren't too clean either, and the Malus not either, so let's do the best. It should still be fine for a sub 102, which is my goal, to beat Marcelo for now. Because the top pre-positioning would already look like quite something. And from there, getting to Foxy and past Sean and Foxy is quite a different kind of optimization that I still have to like practice a little more for that. I would have needed to get like the proper Barga and a little cleaner Basran. But everything is still possible. It says best possible time 1:26:52, but I know for a fact I might be able to get like gold splits as well in some of them, just because I rarely finish runs. I'm not quite sure how good my last few Colossi were, but usually there's always some room for more improvement. Okay. That one actually got me nervous because sometimes aggro tends to like do the annoying animation there. So the fact that I didn't get that is already pretty good. I'm not sure how good my forest section was in my PB. I gotta also figure out like Aiden's way of doing phalanx in any percent, because I feel like once I would figure it out I would be more comfortable with that. Because it's closer to what you do in IELs and it's also faster. And yeah, I saw it. He's been doing great with that. I'm not sure if he will quite go for God Mode runs in that game. He probably could if he wanted to, but still, that's probably quite some experts. Isn't Biyuchi like a crash runner? Thinking about that. Oh, Phalanx is going around. I hate that because it's faster, but also I hate that. I have to go around for rock, it's just faster, but I'm very uncomfortable with that animation. I know there's a very fast way to jump on it, but I always take it way too cautiously. Because I know how bad I am with that, and taking it more cautiously actually makes me worse at it, but that was fine, actually. I'll go a little more to this side. Okay. No, just don't overstab. shouldn't be too difficult. Oh, I see my heart rate is doing fine. It's getting a little extra broken to get my brain all powered. And yeah. That's the joy of speedrunning right here, basically, in a nutshell. Ah, oh, god, fuck off. Sorry to get rude with my language here. That wasn't. What in the world? That's amazing, Foxy. I still wasn't able to pre-order one though, and I don't think there will be another pre-order wave from what I've heard. Oh, this is actually a decent time save, isn't it? Yeah, my phalanx wasn't great. This one wasn't great either, but it was good enough. Oh well, that was a gold split. Now, I haven't been failing Cenobius as of recent memory, but I know for a fact that I'm very much able to. I would want to get one at launch, but I'm pretty sure I won't be able to. Maybe for Christmas. Okay, Zenobia is definitely one of those. Whoa, was it one of those very fancy ones? You underestimate my capability of doing that as well, Sancho. Maybe on a different level, but I think if I go far back enough, I definitely failed runs on every Colossus before. Oh boy, let the fun begin. I know if I get a clean Zenobia super jump with a clean Argus hand jump, I will just be dying at Malus, but I shouldn't be. Honestly, I shouldn't be. Yeah, I think I saw you guys post it on the server. It just seemed a little too expensive for me, but I'm not sure if it's the same one. Was the Japanese design looking one, or was it like one of those original design ones, like in the... what was it? The PS3 version had like a little screen. There's definitely some very cool designs. Oh, I see. That's pretty cool. Yeah, people who are in love with this game are all over the merch. I thought about buying those Japanese figurines that they sell, even though they're kind of small and kind of expensive, since they're like, at this point, gaining in value for the most part. But I really like the Zenobia one. I will have to get that one at some point. I just don't have the money to spend it on little miniature things like that. Too often, at least. I'm actually still not quite sure if, like... I know that the company I work for, that they pay, like... what's it called? Christmas money. But I'm not quite sure if I will already be getting that one or not. If I do, then oh wow, that would be cool. Oh boy, pimp my PS5 with all kind of fancy shit. I wonder if they will actually release like new designs of that one as well. I mean, surely they will, but like, considering the white one is a little different from what they usually offered. I mean, I literally got my Switch with the Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee design because I'm a blind fan with too much money when it comes to stuff like that. Not sure if there's like really a crazy franchise in the PlayStation where I would be all over that kind of stuff, but the potential is there. For a second I thought I missed the jump. Okay, now comes the moment of the pressure. Amazing! Holy shit, that was clean AF. I can't even get that kind of stuff when I else most of the time. Oh, my heart rate is going nuts. I can see that this was a good investment. The super jump is obviously another one of those do or die moments where it can gain a lot of time but also lose tremendous amounts of time. Argus hand jump will be the same thing. That was a clean AF Zenobia. I'm very happy with this run. Like, it might not be sub 1 or like even close to Sean's and Fox's time. But if I get like clean Argus and Malus, like this will probably be top 3 and a very decent one at that. Wait, this actually saves a lot of time. Another gold split. Another gold split. It's nothing much, but oh well. Don't forget, I can save time on Argus and Malus as well, I think. Well. This heartrate monitor is getting quite the run, isn't it? It's basically demonstrating on how it can work. Now, in Big Race I messed up Argus quite a bit, but there I was also kind of down on like motivation and stuff. Didn't feel too well about it. And then now I can probably still beat Marcelo, even if I mess it up a little bit. We'll see about Malus though. My Maluses haven't been great. But I think, since I'm doing it in a certain way, I should be fine. But I think if I get a decent Argus and Malus, this will be by far my best any percent run ever. Well, obviously because it's gonna PB, but just by the level of play as well. There were a few hiccups on the early parts, especially Bass Run, which I will need to improve on if I want to like go for sub 1 and trekking and all that jazz, but for now this is already like... It shows that I have potential in this category as well. Because that Snowbeam was just amazing. But yeah, Argus and Malus can be quite tricky. But like, calm down already, jeez. Deep breaths. This tool is very good at showing me when I just have to chill the fuck out. Difficult right now, but you know, the thought counts. I took 2 deep breaths, it went below 100 and now it's 110 again. This game. Oh, now it's at an 87. Clean aggro section. Clean. Okay. I think I mean, at this stage of the game, with that kind of pace, 90 is pretty good, I'd say. If I could get like sub 80, that would be optimal. Hard. Come on. But I guess it's normal. At least I've gotten better at handling stress, that's for sure. If you do a thing 100,000 times, the muscle memory overwhelms with stress at some point. Well, at least that's what it does in theory. That's okay, is it? Yep. Okay, didn't get the transition. Because I was kind of uncomfortable with that. But it should be fine. I'm not sure how good my Argus was in my PB. But it should be fine. Oh god, this could have overshot the target. I'm not panicking, you are. I'm fine. This is fully okay. I messed up a little. I didn't get to the thing instantly, so that loses time, so this run is garbage and trash, and it It died already, so why am I still... Oh no, I'm gaining 30 seconds. Fuck. Exactly, I'm not married to this run. It's garbage. I don't care if it dies right now. It is totally acceptable if this run... Like, I am chill enough to just turn off a PS4 and not care. That's... Okay, okay. Hey, it helps. Yeah, let's do it. I'm not sure if this is sub 1 pace, but it very well could be. Turn it off, I dare you. The thing is though, if the Malus is okay, this is the first run where I actually didn't have major mess-ups. Besides Barba, but that one wasn't major in any sense of the word. I mean, I'm not doing this for Foxy, I'm just trying to stay calm and relaxed. And I know that I messed up my Malus a little bit as well. So the question is, if my PB is a 103, is it really a 102 if I finish this off? Or could this be like... Or could this be like even better? Like, I won't do any crazy stuff on Malus, I just want a clean Malus. But yeah, actually the question is, was the 103 really representative, or is this run gonna be just trash? Because I mean, for the most part of the early game I was behind. So, I mean, maybe it's not even close to sub 1 pace. Actually, it's very likely to not be even close to sub 1 pace, thinking about it. I should just chill. Just because it's the best I've done so far doesn't mean I can't do better. That's the approach I should have. Appreciate that I'm doing well and do better next time. Even better next time. But best possible time 126.45. 126.45 is pretty damn close to sub 1. It's just if I mess up Malus the same way I did. I mean, birds are weird, right? But it all makes sense. The anatomy of birds is actually very interesting. Every single piece of the body is evolutionarily made to fly. Recently I haven't done well on Malus, but at the same time I didn't do well on Malus in like this PB, so I should definitely PB no matter what. So what was my heart rate peaking at? 130 on Zenobia so far? I'm not even sure. I mean, one thing for certain, if I do a clean Malus, this will beat Madurashi's time, which at some point in time I thought I would never beat, because of how ridiculous it seemed for the time. And at this point it's not even special anymore. And the best thing is, no matter how this run ends, the fact that it had a heart rate monitor definitely made it better. And yeah, Sean, you're right, I've done a clean Malus before. Yeah, actually, Sancho, you basically created... You started the renaissance of eco speedrunning. Like, legit. Your tutorial made a big difference and actually gave people motivation to run the PS3 version. In many cases. It's amazing. Because when I like even thought about running eco, I was always like, oh wow, why would I even bother without a PS2 if a PS3 is slower anyway? But that was the wrong approach. The PS3 run is actually way more enjoyable than the PS2 run for me. Because it's like less of a glitch exhibition where every pixel counts and more like of a flawless execution of movement. Which is really underappreciated, honestly, especially with Karakuza showing such great like skill in that one. I mean, with Biyuchi basically also showing crazy consistency and amazing times in other categories. It's like we have two full-on, totally viable and great categories at this point. Okay. I've done this before, this is fine. Oh, this doesn't look good. It's fine. That one has an easy backup. If... Oh well! The run died. Wander isn't moving. The run literally just died. Yep, nothing I can do. I don't know, I can't even move anything. I can only pause and resume. Yep. Add this to I get dropped by Malus over and over again compilation. I can't even move the camera anymore. But I don't know what I'm doing wrong with the Malus, honestly. Like, this should have PB'd by every sense of the... Like, even with that, with me getting hit, it was totally fine. I would have still PB'd by like, a minute. Anyway. Well, that's frustrating. Let me try this again. You know, I'm not sad about the run. Like, I would have taken an unperfect run that again messes up on Malus, but the fact that I couldn't even finish it with like the inaccuracy at the end just offends me. At least I'm better at handling that because I'm used to it by now. I've lost many runs on Malus on multiple occasions. The fact that it had to be in that kind of way just isn't right. Did anyone ever besides me lose so many runs on Malus in all kinds of ways? Yep, I think so. But I've never seen something like that before. Even a few clips usually clips out again. That was the first time ever where it was like that drastic and crazy. But I've saw it before. I'm cursed on Malus. What should I do about it? I can't do anything about it. I'm just cursed. To always lose Like, even back when I was garbage at the game, I lost PBs on Malus all the time. And even the world record, hard any percent, I lost time on Malus. But at this point I just want a save to practice Malus on. Because on any percent, for some reason, for the life of me, I can't get a good execution. So I'm actually gonna get a save now and try it again. Like, I'm not even sure what I'm doing wrong with the timing. Maybe I didn't jump enough, maybe I didn't jump early enough. But whenever the bolt hits right at Wander's feet, I know it's wrong and it isn't working. And the sad part is, like, I know even a lot of, like, very new runners don't have a problem with the Malus skip. You know? Oh man, what a run. Went from sub 1 to dead, but completely dead without even able to finish it. Like, usually I, like, cancel those kind of runs because I'm frustrated, but no, that one just died. That was very unfortunate. Let me get a save. Oh, aggro. You silly horse. But in the end, I can't blame the game, because if I did the setup right, that wouldn't have been an issue in the first place. So that's still fully on me. And yeah, Foxy, I couldn't move the camera. The only thing I could do was, like, pause the game. I'm not sure, honestly. Recently, my setups for Malus have been cursed. I don't know. It might be, like, the angle of the run. It might be the way I jumped. Didn't hold jump enough or whatever. It might be, like... I don't know. I've been just bad at Malus recently. That's why I'm trying again. Yeah, imagine that's the run again. Oh man, I would have been so happy to show Wacky and the PB.
Oh god.
The problem after those kind of runs, if I was like better at handling disappointment, which I've gotten better at, but I'm still not good enough, I could just start up a new run and try again, but I'm not sure if I can. I know for a fact I can do a run like that again, even better than that one. I know I can do it, it's just that it's usually so difficult. Like, it's NTA, it's like nothing. And that's why I'm practicing. I'm also considering uploading this run to YouTube just because, like, it was so bizarre, or at least that moment. Did anyone clip that moment? Yeah, that's the thing, like, if it's boss rush, I don't have nearly as much problems with it as any percent. I guess. It's a cool way to show off a heart rate monitor. Let me try this again. I know I can do it. I think this one is totally fine, setup-wise. Yep. Let me do the whole thing. Come on, let me do the whole thing. Let's do it. It's always like that. In practice, I don't have any issues with it. Wanna see a pitless? Let's do a pitless. See, no problem. Pitless, easy. Wanna see early arrow? Wanna see Jared jump? I can do all that now. Like, it's no problem whatsoever. God damn it. It's always during the runs, and I'm not even sure why. Okay, never mind. I can't ever do a perfect Malus without something stupid happening. But still though, if I would have gotten something like that, this would have PB'd and gotten third place, maybe second place, who knows. I know I could have saved like up to 2 minutes in the end, and more. Probably not second place. Fox's runs are way too good for that. Let's do early arrow. I shouldn't switch to weapon here. That's too early for an easy execution. This is still fine though, I think. Yep, early arrow as well. Ever seen a problem on plant? Well, I won't get one. Because this is easy. Yep, this would have been like third place or better. Probably a run with 1-0 something. I don't know. Let's end the recording here. I might upload it out of misery. I don't know.